What's up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming with another video review. And on today's episode, thanks to the folks at Mattel, we're going to be taking a look at the new Jurassic World INDORAPTOR. For the package, you have this really nice open display that lets you kind of touch it, and that's about it. It doesn't really have action features, it's just superposable, but hey, you can touch it. On the back of the package, you have other figures that are currently available in this new line, as well as another image showcasing his posability. Also, much like all of these new Jurassic World figures, you can use this toy in conjunction with the Jurassic World Facts app, which allows you to scan the bottom of the animal's foot and get some facts on the actual dinosaur, because as far as we know, this is just made up. But hey, I'm kind of curious to see what kind of background they're going to give this guy. And here we have the INDORAPTOR opened up out of its packaging and absolutely looking incredible. This thing really does shine and is probably one of the best figures in this entire new wave of Jurassic World figures. This is absolutely spectacular looking. Now, we don't really know much about the INDORAPTOR. There's a lot, though, that we can infer from it. It appears to be kind of like a mix between the Indominus Rex and a Velociraptor. A lot of what you're seeing in terms of some of the coloration, these little kind of spines coming up from his back and then, or her back, we don't even know the sex of the thing. And then the little spines up here, the fact that it's an INDORAPTOR, much like Indominus Rex, kind of makes you believe that the Indo part is the Indominus part. And then you see these really long arms, which was something also that the Indominus Rex had. But then there's aspects that are a little bit different. Number one, the size is smaller than the Indominus Rex. I don't have that original Jurassic World Indominus Rex figure anywhere around here. I have no idea what I did with it. Probably I got rid of it. I don't know. It's probably in a box somewhere. But the biggest thing would be the sickle-shaped claw on the feet here. You can see that both have it, much like a Velociraptor does. So we're able to probably determine that it's a mix between those two dinosaurs. But it is considerably bigger than a Velociraptor. Now, you remember how big the INDORAPTOR basically was. Now, I haven't done a review on this yet, but here's one of the many versions of blue that are out, and you can see that there is a pretty big size difference here. In terms of the T-Rex, which was roughly a little bit smaller than the Indominus, you can see just how big the T-Rex is by comparison to the INDORAPTOR. So good size here. It's one of the larger ones. But what is absolutely amazing about this is the detail on here. Coming in to take a closer look, just so that you can kind of see the scales. You have a very nice glossy paint throughout the entire thing, giving it a very wet, scaly kind of look. And even with the gold paint that you see down here, you got a very nice reflective gold on there, which looks terrific. You look at the eye. The eye's red, has a little bit of a red streak going on there, which is, at first I thought this was, just like sloppy paint, but in every image that I've kind of see of the INDORAPTOR and then the other toys that have come out, there is a red streak there, which looks great. The teeth are a little bit dull. I kind of wish they were a little bit more pointy, but it's not bad. But you can see they're nicely painted yellow. The inside here has the red tongue, red mouth and everything. And then even the intersection here, you have that. I don't know why I'm so amazed by that, but that little jaw flap, they have that on here as well. Now, what makes this figure, in addition to the paint and the sculpting, that really does help set this apart, the other thing is the insane amount of articulation that this thing has. Starting off first with his tail. You have a ball joint at this section, so you can position that kind of however you want. You come down to the base of the tail. You have a ball joint there as well. One thing that looks great, I'm going to come back a little bit more, is that also the paint continues on. So when you have it like this, you can see that you don't really necessarily need to have the paint on the inside, but when you move it, that paint carries throughout. So both sides, you get a really nice, now obviously if you kind of like turn it or something, which you can do a little, and even then it doesn't really disrupt
the paint scheme too much. That's pretty impressive, honestly. Looking at the hips, I guess, these are on some kind of a ball-like joint. You can see that they move in and out. Now, a lot of the figures that we've already looked at and will continue to look at have articulated tails. They also have the hips up here. But what makes this different is I think this is the first one that actually has articulated knees. You can see that moves forward and back, rotates, and then you come down here, and you have another section, which is amazing. It doesn't rotate at the ankle, but that can rotate around. So in terms of like creating a, big dinosaur, I mean, you can get him, her, whatever, to stand basically fully upright, which is amazing. And then again, makes it even bigger than the regular Velociraptor size. So absolutely spectacular with that. These arms up here, they're on pin hinge joints. They're pinned in so you can get a nice rotation there. They also hinge in and out. The elbows also had that same pin hinge joint, so you can rotate that all over the place. Same thing with the ankles. Can also rotate, flex forward and back, all sorts of articulation. The neck has two joints. You got a lower base joint here. Now, this is what I was kind of talking about. You can rotate it, and then that breaks up the paint. But you can see that moving it around, the full range of the neck still has the paint that goes through. So if you tilt it forward and back, that paint carries on. Now, obviously, you rotate it, it ruins that look, but not back here at the tail, which is amazing. So you do have that up, down, forward, back, rotates. Same thing with basically the base of the neck. Not as much. You get a little bit of up and down, kind of can look side to side, rotates, all that. And then the jaw opens very nicely, very wide as well. I don't know if, now that was one thing that the I-Rex could do. It could open its mouth very, very wide. That might be kind of a leftover genetic thing here with the Indoraptor that the Indominus Rex had. So again, you can really position this. Now, part of it is a little bit difficult to balance. I find myself having a harder time when I'm not using the tail to kind of balance her, but you can see getting her to like stand completely upright of sorts. The tail here really does come in handy for helping to stabilize her. I mean, obviously that looks a little bit weird. I don't think she would be that forward, but something like that gets a good reach. I think that the general look for her will be something along these lines. Just looks a little bit more crouched over, kind of like a raptor, and the I-Rex as well. So I think that this is kind of going to be the general sort of position for her. Again, we don't really know anything about her, but what we do have is a Jurassic World facts app. So let's get this rolling. 3, 2, 1, boom. And here we go. We're going to load this up, and we're going to take a look at what facts they could possibly have. Dinosaur of the week. 4 days left, and we don't care about that. We want to scan. So bring up the scan feature. There we have that. Bring the foot around. Again, the foot has the Jurassic World logo on the one foot, and then you have that one there. So bringing this into frame, scanning it, and boom. Ooh, and there we have the Indominus Rex, and yeah, very much like raptor looking as well as Indominus Rex. I said Indoraptor. So there we have that. Now, again, I do wish that you can rotate it around, get a good 360 view of her, but let's take a look at the facts. So clicking on that, top left, says, in the film, Indoraptor can move fast in total silence, even in darkness. That's interesting. And then this one, now all of these seem to be unlocked. In the film, Indoraptor is always hungry and hunting for prey. That's something that we saw with the Indominus Rex, that she killed for sport. So wonder if that's a trait that carries on. In the film, Indoraptor is aggressive to every living being around. Again, that was very much like the Indominus Rex. And then in the film, the Indoraptor shows an extremely high level of intelligence, which is definitely something that I'm sure she gets from the Velociraptor, if that's true. And then finally, in the film, Indoraptor weighs 2,200 pounds, like a cow and a half. So pretty decent amount of weight right there. So really very excited. But now we have all of these. The Dilophosaurus up there is like something that you can unlock or whatever. But we got the Carnotaurus. We got the Indoraptor. I keep wanting to say Indominus. The Stegosaurus. And of course, last but not least, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. So turning this off, and there we have her. Really very spectacular looking beast. Really very nice. Completely made up, obviously, but draws on some interesting kind of characteristics between two previous animals that we know of. That being the Indominus Rex, and then obviously the Velociraptor. So absolutely terrific. Very cool. Amazing articulation in this, and just an overall terrific amount of detail put into the entire figure, from the sculpt to the paint. All looks amazing. Now, obviously, if you're a fan of the Jurassic Park or Jurassic World franchise, this is the new big bad guy. Creatures such as the Velociraptor and even the T-Rex have kind of gone off to being anti-heroes, whereas the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor here seem to be the bad guys. But you know what I also just noticed on there? There's a lot of like little reflective paint. I don't know, that's not going to come across, but like I'm looking here and there's like a lot of little silver specks put in there. That's just absolutely gorgeous. So gorgeous. But definitely a creature that I'm very curious to learn about. The look is really quite intriguing. It absolutely has a very scary element to her. I just cannot wait to get a good closer look at this thing. But all that being said, if the Indoraptor here is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, she is available right now at various retailers, or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on her, as well as the rest of the wide range of new Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support and letting me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And before you go, make sure you subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever it's important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is, and the best way to help support my channel and not miss any future reviews of mine is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And a very special thanks to you if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch the video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.